Thank you so much for joining me for All About Reignite. And this is an information session, just giving you some good info on our newest program. So before I get into Reignite, which is a 6-week weight loss program for women that really focuses on blood sugar optimization, I want to just tell you a little bit about why I decided to move forward and create this program. So number one, we've been doing our larger 6-month weight loss program, Rebirth, for a year. And it's been so great. We've had 18 women go through the program and have really great success. We have so many amazing success stories to tell you. But I want to explain first how the program works. There's 3 diet phases in the program. The first is really about making sure you're actually nourishing yourself with real food. And the second part is our metabolic support, which is really tuning into lowering inflammation and optimizing blood sugar. So things you can do for that. And then the other phase is our fat loss phase, which for some people is really helpful for moving the dial when it comes to weight loss. So what I've learned from these 18 women is that we actually see the greatest amount of success, not from our fat loss phase, which you would think would be so powerful, and it definitely is, and definitely is super important for a lot of women. But for most women, we see that kickstart in weight loss, and more importantly for me, feeling better happening in our metabolic phase. And our metabolic phase does very specific things that I'm going to get into in here in a second, to really, like I said, help with blood sugar and reduce inflammation. So I'm going to explain exactly how that works in our 6-week program, but I want to tell you a couple stories about some women and what has happened to them as they go into our metabolic phase. So first of all, a lovely lady, she lost 6 pounds in a month. And not only did she lose the weight, but she didn't have any headaches anymore, especially in between meals. And she didn't feel immediate hunger after meals. That was something that was really standing in the way of her making progress when it came to losing weight. So overall, she just felt so much better, and she was able to lose weight at the same time, which I think is so important. Another one of our ladies in 4 weeks, she also lost 6 pounds, and this is actually over the holidays. Not only was she doing things to support really good blood sugar, but she also got rid of the vast majority of her gut symptoms that she was having: bloating, diarrhea, other things of that nature. So a lot of this, what we talk about, especially when we talk about the anti-inflammatory piece, is all about lowering inflammation, improving your gut. Your gut touches everything, and you feel so much better. One of our other women had a continuous glucose monitor, and I'll talk about what that means. She lost 5 pounds in a month just by really tailoring her eating to what her continuous glucose monitor was telling her. And this really, for all of these women, these are just 3 stories, just really helped to jumpstart the weight loss and allow these women, I think even more importantly, to keep the weight off. Beth, I'm gonna ask you to unmute here. We have Beth here. And Beth, before I hit record, actually shared a really cool story about her journey. Beth worked with me on a very specific anti-inflammatory diet a couple years ago, and she's been so successful. So Beth, give us the short story of your experience. You said you had lost 40 pounds and you've identified the foods that you need to keep out of your diet to keep your symptoms at bay, right?
I did. I did where we removed all the, inflammatory foods. And I didn't really, I kind of decided to try it as a last resort. I just thought I was going to give up and thought, well, this is just going to be how my life is. And my husband and I were doing it together and we started seeing a difference. And I've lost 40 pounds and I have lupus and I had a real bad neuropathy. And I can tell that that is just almost completely gone in my arms. Still have a little in my feet, but in the arms, got to where I couldn't grasp anything. And I realized that gluten was a big factor in that. And also the swelling. I had swelling in my ankles and my joints were swollen, but especially in my ankles and feet. I noticed that all that went away. And I just feel like it gave me my life back. And I had really given up and thought that I would just have to live that way. And I didn't realize that a food could be doing something like that to me. And it's
Yes.
just really changed my life.
Oh, this is my favorite thing about my job. Thank you for sharing that. And a lot of the things that we put into practice with Beth, although not everything, but a lot of things really translate into the 6-week program I'm going to tell you about today, right now. So, Beth, thank you so much for sharing your story. I so appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I'm going to share my screen, everyone. So this is all about reIGNITE, which I mentioned is why you're here. It's our 6-week blood sugar optimization program. And like I said, this really encompasses, I think, the most important part of our 6-month program. And I think for many of you, just doing this piece is really going to be the thing that's going to move the needle, not only when it comes to weight loss, but also being able to sustain weight loss. So you're not just gaining it back and then losing it again and gaining it back, and then feeling better. Feeling better is arguably more important than the number on, well, definitely more important than the number on the scale, and really kind of helps propel you to be so consistent with your habits. So I can definitely state that this is something that will help you feel better. This program, in addition to this, something that's been really close to my heart for a long time has been creating more affordable options within the functional kitchen. And this program, I'll get to pricing on it. Our 6-month program is $3,600. This program is significantly less expensive, so I think a lot more accessible to many people. So this is for you. You probably saw this already, but this is for you if you're an ambitious, high achieving, but stressed woman and you struggle with weight, energy, confidence about what to eat, unsure about what to eat. You're just always asking Google and getting 500 different answers, and you really want to know what really supports your health the best. This program's also for people dealing with metabolic issues, metabolic and hormone issues. So maybe you have PCOS, prediabetes, maybe you're in perimenopause or suspect you're in perimenopause. Maybe you're postmenopausal and you gained weight somewhere in the perimenopause or early postmenopausal period, and you just don't know what to do. You feel so powerless and you want something to help give you some direction. Or you're somebody that your diet needs something beyond a calories in, less than calories out approach, but you can't quite put your finger on what that is. And you've been trying to do that all year, and really you need some accountability and direction to make it happen. So this is what this program is for. So what you're going to get out of this program is step-by-step nutrition framework to optimize your blood sugar and reduce inflammation. I'll show you exactly how this works here in a second. So not only is it going to facilitate weight loss, but it's going to help you feel better, and we track both of those things. You get a resource library, recipes, shopping guide, easy meal ideas. I want this to be easy for you, friends. I don't want this to be difficult. This should be something that you can integrate into your life relatively seamless, so that it's not something that feels like you're doing this total overhaul and you'll never be able to sustain it. It should feel sustainable. Um, I talk a lot about the practical stuff, planning, shopping, cooking, how to execute this, how to make sure you're prepared, what to eat when traveling, things like that, because summer's coming, trips are coming, and we want to be prepared and we want to know how to eat for those situations too, because when we feel right for our travels and for celebrations, oh my gosh, it makes our experience just so much better. We want to talk about eating habits that are going to optimize energy levels and sleep quality. And my friends, when it comes down to optimizing hormones, optimizing energy levels, optimizing your sleep quality, it really comes down to blood sugar and eating to optimize blood sugar. Blood sugar and cortisol, I mean, not blood sugar, insulin, which is our blood sugar storage hormone, and cortisol, our main stress hormone, are what I call the conductors of the hormonal orchestra. And as these guys go, so goes the rest of the hormones family. So if we can do the things, and diet really has the most power when it comes to influencing insulin and cortisol. So when we can do things that are going to help support the right levels of these guys, the other hormones tend to follow suit. We also talk a lot in this program about how to eat from an anti-inflammatory standpoint. So we will talk about common food sensitivities. More importantly than that, I think, is eating to accentuate anti-inflammatory foods, so you don't feel like you're just on some elimination diet. So how does this even work? We do have a curriculum. This is going to be a closed group. So the group is going to begin on April 15th. We are going to be accepting up to 20 women in the program, but don't worry, you are not going to be meeting with 20 people every week on Zoom. We're going to break you into small groups so you have lots and lots of support during this period of time. We do have a curriculum that you will get modules to each week. So each week you'll get a module about all these things and support materials. But we're also going to cover this material in session. So if you feel like you're not somebody that's real great at watching modules that are pre-recorded and you're really good at showing up for meetings and getting the information, great, you're going to do that. If you're not as good at making meetings, but you're really good at doing things independently, great, we've got you covered. So lots of ways to access the information and get support when it comes to implementing what you need to implement. So week 1 is the plan. It's our metabolic support nutrition plan. And then we're also talking about in here how to include more anti-inflammatory foods. You'll love this. This is going to talk about building a food framework so you know exactly what portions you should be looking at overall. We'll talk about specific foods that are really helpful for an anti-inflammatory standpoint. And we're not talking about letting anything go right off the rip. Week 2 is all about practicalities. How do you meal plan, shop, and cook? Make it simple. Do this while still feeding your family. Do this while traveling, etc. How do you make it work? So we'll talk through that. Week 3, and this part is actually optional, but if you feel like you carry a lot of inflammation, if you just feel maybe a little bit inflamed, swollen, you maybe have some light digestive issues, and you've never really done a gluten-free, dairy-free, excess sugar, low alcohol, low alcohol and low to no low sugar diet, then this is going to be something that we really want to implement. In with the metabolic support nutrition plan, that is inherently lower sugar. But if you feel like you are somebody, and we'll work with you to determine if this is you, who giving up gluten and dairy is going to make sense for this period of time, and reducing your sugar and reducing alcohol is going to make a lot of sense, we'll help you through that. And the great part of this program is it's going to help hold you accountable to doing those things that can be a little bit more challenging. We'll also talk in week 4 about eating habits overall. So not what you're eating, but how you're eating to optimize energy and sleep. We also have supplement recommendations. I get asked all the time, what supplement should I be taking for different foods? And or not different foods, for different conditions and different supports. And having a really good multivitamin is a fabulous, fabulous support for you. Making sure that you have vitamin D, really, really important. And I think a good fish oil and some magnesium is also incredibly supportive. 75% of Americans are deficient in magnesium. So getting the right kind of magnesium can be really, really, really beneficial because magnesium is so important for sleep, for energy. It's really important for proper bowel movements as well. So getting you on the right one for you, right kind of magnesium, so helpful. And then the fish oil, we just don't have enough omega-3s in our diets most of the time. So knowing what to do when it comes to omega-3s, so helpful. So we'll have a whole module on that. And then I'll talk about tailoring things, but it'll be tailored to you as well. Then in week 5, we talk about traveling and dining out. Summer is going to be coming, so you're going to want these strategies. And then week 6, we talk about your unique response to gluten, dairy, and sugar. So identifying if you do indeed have a food sensitivity to gluten or dairy and how your body reacts to too much sugar. So we talk you through a reintroduction of those foods if you took them out of the program. So like I said, you get 6 weekly modules and the support materials. And then here's where the magic happens. You'll have weekly small group office hours. The way the office hours are going to work right now, the office hours are going to be definitely Wednesdays at 4 p.m. and then Fridays at noon. And this is all Eastern time. So we have an after work, hopefully for you on Wednesdays available. And then we definitely have our Fridays at noon available. We'll also be adding in a Monday session if we have enough people in the program. These sessions are going to be capped to 7 people at a time. So you're going to be able to choose what session you want to attend, what office hour you want to attend each week. You sign up every week. So if week 1, your schedule allows you to come on Wednesdays, you sign up for Wednesday. If week 2, it's Friday, you sign up for Friday. absolutely great. We're going to make sure we have it planned out so there's lots of wiggle room between the different office hours so you never feel like you're on the wait list or anything like that. This allows me, I'll be running these office hours to give you personalized attention in each session. In addition to this, you all get homework, and this homework is all based around accountability. So every week you will do a weigh-in or measure your progress in some sort of way, whether it's trying on an article of clothing to see how it fits, whatever feels supportive to you. And then we have, more importantly, our check-in sheet. So a check-in sheet runs through different biofeedback. So how you're sleeping, how's your mood, those sorts of questions. I'd ask you how you're doing with your food, and it asks you to set some goals for the week. You are in complete control of the goals that you set for the program. Some people may have the same goals week in and week out for the entirety of the program. That's totally fine. You are not locked into setting goals associated with the topic of the week. I really want you to use these topics just to get your brain moving about what you could be doing, what feels right for you, and then you make those goals accordingly. We will also have a group chat. This is so supportive for sharing recipes, wins, getting coaching in between office hours, and our reboost group chat. Sometimes I have people reaching out and saying, hey, Gretchen, what do you think about this product? Or, hey, I'm going out to dinner at this restaurant. Can you help me identify what I should get and talk me through your process for figuring that out? And I provide all of that, and we cheer on each other. There's nothing like cheering on each other to help you stay really motivated, especially in a 6-week program. All right, so let's get to the two super exciting, important things. Number one, your investment is $5.99 for the program. If you have HSA or FSA funds, you can use these for the program too. So you'll get an email with this recording, or if you have my email, you can, and you want to use that, just reach out to me and let me know. And then for the first 10 people that enroll in the program, you will be assigned a one-on-one dietitian, and you will receive a one-on-one session to really talk about your needs and how you can be supported. I'm going to stop sharing now. I'm going to go ahead and drop in the chat for our ladies who are here right now, the sign up. So if you are like, yes, this is my thing, I'd love to sign up, you can go ahead and do that. And for all of you watching on the replay, you're going to have this link right in your email. Ladies, do either of you have any questions about how this program works? All right, I'm going to take.
No,
Oh, yes, go
everything,
ahead.
no questions. I just wanted to say you explained it all pretty well. So yeah, I understand. So
Thanks. Great.
okay. All right.
I'll talk about a couple questions that I tend to get. One is, how much weight can I expect to lose in the program? Everybody is different. I think this is so important for you to know. So I don't like to say you can definitely, I'm not going to guarantee any sort of weight loss just because everyone is so different. But like I said earlier, most of our people going through this phase in our rebirth program lose somewhere between 4 and 8 pounds just by doing this phase in the first 4 to 6 weeks. So that's something that's very reasonable. But like I said, depending on extenuating circumstances, health issues, things like that, I really encourage you to look beyond the number on the scale and think about things like how your clothes are fitting, because sometimes your clothes can start fitting better before the scale starts to move. And that is such a win. Thinking about how you're sleeping, thinking about your mood. All of these things are such wins that are supporting you, even if that scale isn't moving quite yet. The scale moves when it wants to, and what we have control over are our habits. And we're here to help make sure that your habits are optimizing blood sugar support specifically, and lowering inflammation as well. Another question that I get is, Gretchen, you keep talking about blood sugar, and sometimes you talk about continuous glucose monitors. You can opt into our continuous glucose monitor support through this program if you want. We go through a third-party company called Thea, and I'm also going to drop the link in the chat here so that you have it. But Thea provides you with 2 sensors and a special app to track food and your blood sugar. And the cool thing is we can see it as a team. So your one-on-one dietitian can see it. I can see your data, so we can look at that in office hours, and we can really tailor whatever you're doing to what's going to make sense for your blood sugar. So that's super helpful. Again, our company is called Thea, and I actually really like the 2 sensor option, which is the $2.99 option. That's something that I would encourage you to think about if that's something that makes sense for you in this program. So just something to think about there as far as as far as CGM monitoring and blood sugar is concerned. And I'll drop the link here in 1 second. Um, other things that last question that would be something very typical is, Gretchen, what happens after 6 weeks? What if I want to continue? What if I saw some success, like I felt a lot better, but I didn't see the weight move quite like I wanted to? Yes, there is going to be a continuing option for you. We're actually building in a 4-month program for our rebirth program. And what would happen is you would transition from our 6-month program into the fat loss phase, which has been incredibly successful for people that are a little bit more insulin resistant, that might benefit from lowering calories and or carbohydrates. I do this in a very responsible way, though. You're not going to be doing a ketogenic diet. I think that makes it very, very difficult, if not impossible, to get enough fiber. And I'm really into making sure we're doing everything we can to support your gut health. But there is another level. So if this isn't quite moving the needle how you want to, there will be an option to continue with us. And because you did the 6-week program, you're actually going to save $300 off the off the cost of the entire program. Those are the main questions that I can think of. I'll extend it back to the ladies that are here. Anything you think of, ladies, that you wanted to ask before I close up today?
Deadline for registration for this program would be April 14th.
Yeah, April 14th. You can sign up until April 14th.
Okay, great. That's all I wanted to know. All right, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being here. If you're watching it on the replay, please feel free to reach out. You can simply reply to the email with any questions that you have. The link to join our program will be in your email, along with the link to Thea, our CGM program affiliate. So thanks for
Great.
being here with me. Thanks for learning, and I'll talk with you soon.
Okie doke. Thank you.